Federal government's drive to encourage local content yield result as President Muhammadu Buhari unveils first surveillance drone produced locally by the Nigerian Air Force. Hope rises for the refurbishing of the 4 refineries in Nigeria. Administrative panel of inquiry to investigate alleged 62 billion naira fraud at Nigeria's Social Insurance Trust Fund. And South Africa gets new president. Good evening and welcome to the network news on the NTA. We're live in Abuja, Nigeria's capital city. My name is Fumi Udubeko. Tonight, Ademola Adeoye joins me from our Lagos Network Center. Welcome. Nigeria's first locally developed unmanned drone called Segumi, a product of ingenuity by the Nigerian Air Force, has been formally inducted into service. President Muhammadu Buhari, who performed the ceremony in Kaduna, described the unprecedented feat as a milestone in the nation's technological development enterprise. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu reports.
Vehicle Segumi, designed and built by the Nigerian Air Force for intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance, has a mission range of 100 kilometers, 15,000 feet service ceiling, as well as an operational endurance of about 10 hours. It has the capacity to provide a continuous stream of vital information on enemy activities, and if weaponized, strike operations take place at best moments, minimizing unwanted collateral damage. President Muhammadu Buhari commended the Nigerian Air Force for their outstanding accomplishments, which he said holds promise of both military and economic benefit to the nation.
The attainment of this technological feat is an indication that there is indeed potential to similarly apply the same innovative mindset to addressing other areas of indigenous technological need. Be rest assured of this administration's support towards the attainment of greater technological milestones for our nation.
The president used the forum to once again applaud the gallantry exhibited by the Nigerian Armed Forces and other security agencies in defeating Boko Haram and all other threats to the nation's security, thereby providing the enabling environment for the government to proceed with its developmental activities without hindrance.
Let me again reiterate our commitment and firm resolve to take this nation to next level. We remain determined to overcome all challenges to our security and development as a nation. I enjoin all well-meaning Nigerians to join hands with us to make our collective dreams of greatness a reality.
Governor Nasiru Ahmed El-Rufai of Kaduna State expressed delight over the significant contributions of the nation's military to the economy and most especially the internal security of the state.
We do not blame the federal government for security challenges, Mr. President. We do not outsource our problems, but we work with the security agencies to ensure the safety and security of our citizens. And we are grateful to Mr. President for enabling that. But I want to promise here, Mr. President, that the Kaduna State government will be the first state government to place orders for the Segumi as soon as production starts.
The Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, told the President that apart from the mass production and employment of the unmanned aerial vehicle in theater of operations for intelligence and surveillance, the Nigerian Air Force is also committed to developing Nigeria's first indigenous unmanned combat aerial vehicle.
Your Excellency, sir, we are deeply grateful for your support for the Nigerian Air Force and indeed the entire armed forces in our quest to develop the capacities and capabilities needed to provide security and safety for our people. We will continue to do our utmost best to meet our statutory responsibility of defending the territorial integrity of a united Nigeria.
As part of the ceremony, President Muhammadu Buhari undertook a guided tour of the Nigerian Air Force surveillance aircraft, a made-in-Nigeria project called Nafsa Eagle, as well as the new Super Mushak aircraft recently procured from Pakistan. From Kaduna, Adamu Sambu.
And immediately after the induction of Nigeria's first indigenous unmanned drone, Segumi, President Muhammadu Buhari proceeded to his ancestral home in Daura, Katsina State on a private visit. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that the president was received at Umaru Musa Yar'Adua International Airport, Katsina, by Governor Aminu Bello Masari and the Emir of Katsina, Muhammad Kabir Usman. Also at the airport were other top Katsina state government officials, members of the political class, and the business community. President Buhari, who proceeded to Daura by chopper, was also well received on arrival at the helipad by his Daura kinsmen, led by the Emir of Daura, Umar Farooq Umar. Meanwhile, as Nigeria joins the League of Aerospace Manufacturers with the induction of its first indigenous unmanned drone vehicle, the Nigerian Air Force has assured that more is to come from its research and development efforts. Defense correspondent Isaac Nkuma tells us about this feat by the Air Force and the next project in view.
Segumi, meaning the gossip, Nigeria's first indigenous unmanned aerial vehicle. For this occasion, it sits like a beautiful item at an exhibition, but after this moment, it will be deployed to the northeast to perform the duties it is designed for: intelligence gathering. Equipped with cutting-edge technology camera, the UAV can perform day and night missions covering a range of more than 100 kilometers with an endurance flying period of about 10 hours using only 25 liters of fuel. A product of 5 years research, Segumi is an advanced version of the earlier designed prototype known as Gulma. With this completed, NAF Aerospace engineers say manufacturing an unmanned combat aerial vehicle to be called Ichoku is the next target.
Ichoku is a bigger version which we call unmanned combat aerial vehicle. By combat aerial vehicle, we mean that the Ichoku will be able to carry ordnances, which will be able to arm it, and once it sees the insurgent, it doesn't need to phone back or communicate back for another aircraft to come and do the job. It will on its own be able to do the job. And there are very few countries in the world that have that capacity for unmanned combat aerial vehicle. And Nigeria is heading to be one of the superpowers when it comes to UAV development.
The materials of production are in different categories. We have the hard and the soft, and we have a lot of suppliers in Nigeria here. And also the epoxy that we use in the production, we also could find it locally available here.
I'm very happy about it. It's important for our country to recognize that we have to be self-reliant. We can't continue to depend on foreigners to solve our problems.
With a maximum takeoff weight of 80 kilograms, Segumi, besides intelligence surveillance, can also be deployed to mapping and border patrol duties, weather forecast, as well as oil spill detection. From Kaduna, Isaac Nkuma, NTA News.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says for democracy to work for Africa, the elite need to strengthen the institutional framework that the people can rely on and trust. The Vice President was speaking at an inaugural flagship lecture of the Kuka Center in Abuje, where President Nana Akufo-Addo of Ghana was a guest speaker. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
The fundamental roles of strong institutions, justice and the rule of law, as the Vice President notes, remain the most crucial issues in how to make democracy work for Africa. Democracy, as he says, still remains a work in progress. But the greatest threat to democracy, as the Vice President observes, is the historic failure to invest in nation building by the elites.
Concerning state building, to wit, the capacity of governments to deliver on the rule of law, law and order, good governance, and social goods, it is clear that extreme inequality, weak systems of justice, the absence of the rule of law, lack of state capacity to maintain law and order put nations constantly under a real threat of coming undone. And that is the African story.
Many of the ethnic and parochial tensions that have tendency to create insecurity and outright conflict, as Vice President Osinbajo emphasizes, are largely on account of the failure to undertake nation-building efforts. And the solution?
Solution, is the modern state, to wit, a merit-driven bureaucracy, a strong law and order architecture, the rule of law, an adjudicative system that is well-resourced and immune to manipulation.
Democracy is a powerful yet fragile tool, one that every citizen should jealously guard.
In returning to global agenda, these important resource-limiting issues that will inhibit the ability for democracy to deliver.
Nigeria and Ghana are considered as the alley-boys for the entrenchment of democracy in Africa. And participants here, including the representative of the Senate President, were of the view that the foundation of democracy has to be solid for other countries to build on. In Abuje, Jide Onifade, NT News.
160 convictions have so far been secured at the trial of Boko Haram suspects going on in New Busa, Niger State. About 50 have also been discharged. The latest conviction includes a 50-year sentence for one of the followers of the founder, Muhammad Yusuf. Judiciary correspondent Femi Okewu has the details.
The Federal High Court sitting in Wawa Military Cantonment, New Busa, Niger State, found 27-year-old Yusuf Muhammad guilty on 2 counts of professing to be a member of Boko Haram sect and for committing acts of terrorism by participating in attacks in Borno and Adamawa states. Yusuf Muhammad showed no sense of regret, threatening that if he had the opportunity, he would continue with the acts. But this was not the same with Haruna Yahaya, a physically challenged 32-year-old who admitted to have committed similar atrocities but told the court that he was now a changed person. In its judgment, the court said Haruna had a deceitful look which could easily draw people's sympathy because of his handicap, but regretted that he was a dangerous person to the society. He was therefore sentenced to 15 years. For every conviction since the sittings started, the court also ordered each of the convicts to go through a de-radicalization program for eventual rehabilitation. Every day's session ends as late as 8 o'clock in the night. But one thing about every session is that every party always feels a sense of satisfaction that justice has been served, both to the Nigerian state, the victims, and indeed the accused persons. From the Wawa Cantonment in Kainji, Niger State, Femi Okewu, NT News.
The need for peace in Nigeria has again been emphasized at an international conference in Abuje to promote love and tolerance in the country. Victor Azu reports that the event is hosted by the Catholic Bishop of Abuje, John Cardinal Onuayikon, and the Sultan of Sokoto, Saad Abubakar III.
In this hall are people of different religious, ethnic, and ideological backgrounds. Notwithstanding, they have gathered to preach the gospel of love and tolerance with the aim of countering violent extremism.
Tolerance is positive.
Co-host and Catholic Archbishop of Abuje, John Cardinal Onuayikon, says it is high time the country moved beyond tolerance to mutual acceptance.
We either respect and accept one another, or we tear each other to pieces. Love one another as God loves us.
Ufuk Dialogue was founded in Abuja to promote dialogue, culture of coexistence, and the common values of humanity.
Other speakers emphasized the need to shun hate and other related vices, while the representative of the Inspector General of Police thinks conferences like this make the work of security agencies easy.
If there's love and there's peace, we will not have problem at all.
We all have to continue to work collectively together to promote love and tolerance amongst each other.
Let us love each other. We will be obeying God's commandment.
Love and tolerance is the bedrock for peaceful coexistence in our society.
The conference, fourth in the series, is organized by the Ufuk Dialogue Foundation in conjunction with the Institute for Peace and Conflict Resolution and holds in 3 cities, Abuje, Lagos and Kaduna.
In Abuja, Victor Azu, NTA News.
The House of Representatives is considering a bill for the amendment of the Evidence Act of 2011, which proposes, among other issues, to accommodate modern developments in the admissibility of confessional statement. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nko reports that the bill has been passed for a second reading.
The amendment of the Evidence Act is to widen the scope of electronic evidence in litigation, provide for admissibility of public documents without makers of such documents being invited as witnesses, while the amendment of Section 17 is to ensure that customary courts deliver justice based on current acceptable customs. The bill was jointly sponsored by Representatives Edward Pajok, Garba Dati Mohammed and Rita Oji.
That for you to tender any evidence or any document in court, it must be admissible in court.
So there are certain customs that have changed. Custom that is already not in existence is repugnant to equity, natural justice, and good conscience.
The bill for an act to amend the Orthopedic Hospitals Management Board Act, sponsored by Representative Beta Apiafia from Rivers State, was also passed for second reading. The need to investigate the power recovery program in Nigeria, moved by Representative Yunusa Ahmed. The need to mandate government establishments to patronize only Nigerian manufactured or assembled cars, moved by Representative Omorige Obaide Ihama, were adopted. Health matters resonated on the floor as Representative Joseph Edionwele moved the motion on the urgent need to check the increasing cases of heart failure-related deaths in Nigeria by including it in the primary health care policy, while the urgent need to provide medical and life insurance policy to civilian joint task force in the Northeast, moved by Representative Buba Yakub, were adopted. Members observed the minute silence in honor of the late 21 students and teachers of Government Secondary School Bauchi. The House adopted the motion calling for the suspension of Nigeria's contribution to the Lake Chad Basin Development Commission and to investigate alleged misappropriation of funds by the Executive Secretary, moved by Representative Chika Adamu from Niger State, while Representative Benjamin Wayo from Benue State moved that the House investigate alleged violation of National Emergency Management Agency Act by its management. Meanwhile, the Swedish ambassador to Nigeria has visited Speaker Yakubu Dogara, where the Speaker called on Swedish business community to invest in Nigeria.
Not but call for more engagement in this direction, a more flow of foreign direct investment.
Both parties agreed to the need to convene an international conference on the rebuilding of the Northeast. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
Ahead on the news tonight, experts X-ray strategies for marketing Nigeria at the annual marketing conference in Abuja. Details shortly.
This is your playground. Get free 200,000 Naira preloaded on the new Jumbo SIM to talk, chat and browse as you like. This includes free data for Facebook, WhatsApp and Twitter on every recharge. Now every SIM is a Jumbo SIM. Existing customers dial *224# to join. The largest data network. Glow, Grandmasters of Data.
Standards Organization of Nigeria, SON, brings a new lease of life to Nigeria SMEs. SON has put a greater premium on developing standards to improve made in Nigeria products for export. We have developed more standards for products like sesame, cocoa, gari, and more, courtesy of our accredited state-of-the-art laboratories. In keeping with the federal government's ease of doing business, SON has simplified its processes and turned around time for SUNCAP, MANCAP, and other certification processes. SON has intensified market surveillance, raids, and seizures to reduce substandard products in circulation, and offenders shall be prosecuted. Join SON in ridding our nation of substandard products. If you see something, say something. Standards Organization of Nigeria, improving lives through standards.
MTN gives 2,000% bonus for reactivating your MTN SIM.
That's right. If you haven't used your MTN SIM for 45 days or more, recharge now and get 2,000% bonus. That's right, 2,000% bonus for your first recharge of every month.
The Corps Marshal, Federal Road Safety Corps, Dr. Abuje cordially invites FRC stakeholders and the public to the events marking the 30th anniversary of the Federal Road Safety Commission. Highlights of the events include Resawa visit to Kuba General Hospital on Friday, 16th February 2018 by 11 a.m. Jumat prayer at the National Mosque by 1 p.m. Walking jogging at the FRC headquarters by 6 a.m. and safety games at the National Stadium, Abuja by 1 p.m. on Saturday, 17th February 2018. Church service at Catholic Church of Assumption Asokoro on Sunday, 18th February by 10 a.m. The grand finale and open house on the 19th of February at NAV Center, Kado, Abuja by 9 a.m. BC Kazim, Core Public Education Officer, announcer.
From our wonderful family, meet Patty for celebrating the high points of life with friends. And then there's me, Jolly, bringing nourishment to every gathering. Packed with healthy nutrition, nourishing vitamins, power of protein, strength of calcium, revitalizing energy. Hollandia yogurt is bursting with goodness inside and out. Hollandia yogurt, it's all good. Hollandia.
Do you know that the Nigerian police now operates in the best international practices of policing? Do you know that the Nigerian police has been restructured to be more accountable and responsive to all your security challenges? Now, what the police demand from you is your trust, your collaborative efforts by providing necessary information about criminals and their activities in your neighborhood. Be vigilant. To achieve our creed as we promise, we shall police the country based on international core values of policing with integrity. We shall ensure that rule of law prevails in our actions and activities. We shall respect diversity, display courage, show compassion, and demonstrate professionalism. We shall operate within the principle of democratic policing. We shall shun corruption, and we shall make Nigeria safer and secured under the leadership of IGP Ibrahim Otum Idris.
Let the wind of change blowing across the country chase away crime for the benefit of our society. Yes, the Nigerian police says this change must come with peace and tranquility.
This message was brought to you by the Public Relations Department of the Nigerian Police Force.
Senate plenary for Thursday, 15th February, was suspended due to what it described as an unconducive atmosphere for sitting. But plenary of Wednesday, 14th February, was held, during which about 10 lawmakers staged a walkout. During proceedings, their issue of contention borders on various sections of the harmonized version of the Independent National Electoral Act of 2010, Amendment Bill 2018. National Assembly correspondent Dennis Adegunlui reports.
Given the hazy atmosphere, the lawmakers adopted a motion to suspend plenary.
Everybody knows the kind of situation we have in here. Our chillers are bad.
In favor that the Senate hereby adjourn to Tuesday, 20th February 2018 at 10 a.m. from say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
The drama at plenary on Wednesday, 14th of February, saw the 10 legislators walk out of the sitting as the Senate, after consideration of the Conference Committee report on the INEC Act of 2010 Amendment Bill, was adopted. The bone of contention was the change effected by the Senate on the INEC timetable for the 2019 elections, in which the presidential election was moved to hold as the last polls as against the original one provided by INEC to make the presidential election first. This decision was placed under close examination by the senators, questioning the independence of INEC to draw up an election timetable or not.
Who has the ultimate, the final power, authority vested by this Constitution to fix dates for election?
The lawmakers that wanted to retain the status quo held a briefing with newsmen during the plenary sitting.
Stay in any platform. If I'm destined to come back 2019, no man on earth can stop it.
I will not insinuate that there are subterranean issues on it, but what I want to know is that we are going to stand on the altar of truth and justice.
We should save ourselves this embarrassment of creating confusion in the polity.
We are lawmakers. We have no business in this election.
I'm against any attempt by anyone to pass a law that is perceived to be targeted at an individual.
The senators are insisting on a review of Section 25, subsection 1 of the amendment for the overall fairness of the electoral process, which gives INEC full powers. From the National Assembly, Dennis Adegunloye, NTA News.
I am now being joined by Mr. Jide Ojo, a political analyst, to speak on the position of the National Assembly on election timetable. Mr. Ojo.
Thanks for having me. Good evening.
What is the implication of this move by the National Assembly, and where does it place the electoral process?
It creates further confusion in the electoral process, and it's very ominous. I think our lawmakers should do better than what they are doing. My own reservation, I quite understand where they're coming from. It's self-serving. They want to protect themselves. Recall that many a time the National Assembly has always argued that 75% of them never, usually don't make it back after each election. So they saw that the moment you have a presidential elections, you are on your own. There is that likelihood of a bandwagon effect. But one thing I must state is this. INEC actually in March 9, on March 9, 2017, gave out the dates and the sequence of election. That was a year ago. Before coming on January 9 to now give schedule of activities, which further amplifies. Now, Senate, as at the time it passed its own version of the Electoral Act last year, did not reorder the sequence of election. It was only on January 23rd that House of Reps passed its own, that it decides to reorder. Now, the confusion is creating is this. INEC already has given schedule of activities. Key stakeholders are already, keying into that, conducting their own activities and all of that. As it is, nobody is rest assured whether this will sail through. There have been arguments that there is that likelihood that the president will veto this. Now, in 2015, we had a similar scenario where, because of lack of due process, the entire constitutional amendment exercise was futile because the then president refused to assent to it, and all the billions of resources, billions of naira spent on that exercise went down the drain.
Can I tell you now, there has been concern that reordering of the election timetable is a calculated attempt by politicians to ride on the popularity of the president to office, because many may not be able to win on their own. Do you see something like that in the plan towards 2019?
Exactly what this is all about. They felt if the presidential election comes earlier, there is that likelihood of a bandwagon effect. Everybody wants to come to the center. electorates will say, oh, this party has won, so let's vote the rest of the candidates to support the president. But this is the same order of election we used in 2015 that produced this current administration. The same sequence. You understand? Yes. We had the Presidential and National Assembly on a separate date on March 28, 2015, and had the Governorship and State House of Assembly on April 11, 2015. And yet, the incumbent administration was unseated. So there is nothing that says that cannot also be repeated this time around. But I think the greatest worry for me is the uncertainty that it has created in the politics.
Thank you. Thank you for analysis.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah. The Cross River State House of Assembly has passed the 2018 appropriation bill of 13 trillion naira presented by Governor Ben Ayade on November 30, 2017. Tagged Budget of Kinetic Crystallization, the chairman of the Committee on Finance and Appropriation, Jonas Eteng Williams, said the House had extensive interface with ministries, departments and agencies before the passage. The budget, according to Eteng Williams, was designed to promote infrastructural and economic development in the state. South Africa's leadership changes with the unopposed election of former Vice President Cyril Ramaphosa, Nancy Goody. Anihu reports.
New South Africa's president Thursday, 15th February 2018. The 400-member parliament dominated by the ruling ANC elected Ramaphosa to finish Jacob Zuma's term, which would have ended with elections in 2019. Jacob Zuma resigned Wednesday following intense pressure from the opposition and his party, part of which was his recall by the ANC as scandals and accusation of corruption and downward economic trend continued to trail his administration. Jacob Zuma, as fourth president of South Africa, came into power on 6th May 2009 with a second term on the 24th May 2014. It will be recalled that the ANC, in like manner, forced Zuma's predecessor, Thabo Mbeki, out of office in 2008, following allegations that he used law enforcement system to undermine Zuma's chances of succeeding him. Resignation appears to be taking deep root in Africa's politics as less than 24 hours after Zuma's resignation, Ethiopia's Prime Minister Desalegn resigned, saying he was paving a way for a sustainable peace and democracy. Nancy Godiangunihu, NTA News.
In the meantime, President Muhammadu Buhari has congratulated Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa on his election today as the President of South Africa. The President also felicitates with the African National Congress, ANC, and the government and people of South Africa on the peaceful transfer of power that resulted in the election of President Ramaphosa. In a statement signed by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, President Buhari salutes the leadership and statesmanship of former President Jacob Zuma, wishing him the best in his future endeavor. The statement says President Muhammadu Buhari looks forward to working with the new President of South Africa and to enhanced cooperation of the governments of Africa's two leading economies. The National Economic Council has asked the Committee on Revenue Generation to interface with the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) to determine the correct price of petrol. NEC, however, insists that there will be an upward review of pump price of the product. Jide Onifade has the details.
Many issues affecting the nation were discussed. Chief among them were the current problems of farmers and herdsmen and scarcity of petroleum products. An interim report of the working group set up to look into the farmers' herdsmen crisis was submitted by the Vice President. The group recommended that the military should be moved to states where these clashes are prevalent. Another recommendation which has been approved by the President is the setting up of a committee to look into ways to ameliorate the suffering of the people in those areas. The second issue discussed was the scarcity of petroleum.
The committee has been charged with the responsibility of interfacing with the NNPC with a view to determining the correct price for PMS.
Council received the final report of audited account of 18 MDAs.
I recommend that NEC should decide on the repayment plans for all concerned, as well as stepping up oversight function on the relevant agencies to ensure remittance as at when due.
Of 14 February is $2.3 billion. The stabilization fund account as at the same date is 11.2 billion naira, and the National Natural Resources Development Fund is 123 billion naira.
The Social Investment and Protection Program Office was also invited to brief the Council on the current state of the program.
The direct number of beneficiaries from all the programs is currently 7,812,201 persons. We have secondary beneficiaries of over 1.5 million. Total actual spending in 2017 and 2016 is 15.58% of the amount appropriated for the programs.
The office identified 7 challenges relating to corrupt practices by some state officials and pleaded with the state governors to take more interest in what is going on. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NT News.
I want to take this again, and I sincerely apologize for the wrong information. The National Economic Council has asked the Committee on Revenue Generation to interface with the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, to determine the correct price of petrol. NEC, however, insists that there will be no upward review of pump price of the product. A 9-member administrative panel of inquiry has been inaugurated to investigate the alleged 62 billion naira misappropriated by the past board and management of the Nigeria Social Insurance Trust Fund. To ensure unfettered investigation, Minister of Labour and Employment Chris Ngige directed 6 serving directors of the agency to proceed on 30 days compulsory leave. Emmanuel Ayimiro reports.
Social Insurance Trust Fund, established since 1961, has the mandate to provide social security protection and safety net for all Nigerians against deprivation. To ensure the agency carries out its mandate effectively, Labour Minister Chris Ngige wants every loophole blocked. The task of the Administrative Panel of Inquiry is to investigate financial diversion between 2014 and 2015.
In that organization.
National
Porter of
exploration, production, cost reduction issues, technology deployment, tracking, and some sense of discipline management of our crews, and key refinery and gas.
The minister, however, directed the agencies in the ministry to redouble efforts in ensuring adequate supply of petrol to put an end to the lingering fuel scarcity in the country. Mie Ogidi, NT News.
For more reports on our lineup, let's join Ademola in Lagos. Hello, Ademola.
Hello, Fumi. It's good to see you again. Thanks for joining us in Lagos. The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has taken delivery of more than 135,000 bags of rice donated by the People's Republic of China to support IDP camps in the northeastern part of the country. Director General NEMA Mustapha Meyaga supervises the clearance of the consignment at the Apapa port in Lagos. Musa Toliad has the details.
The 6,779 metric tons of 50-kilogram bags of rice arrived the country in 271 containers. Having inspected the consignment before loading on trucks, the Director General of NEMA, Mustapha Meyaga, who was represented by the Zonal Coordinator of NEMA in Southwest, Suleiman Yakubu, said the agency has taken necessary steps to ensure that the consignment has been duly certified by relevant government agencies for consumption.
The rice you see being loaded, being moved to northeast, is of the acceptable quality that we are consuming in Nigeria. And the Federal Ministry of Agriculture setting the samples in the first instance. That confirms that it's the rice we are expecting. And other regulatory agencies in the port have also certified the rice before it is declared.
Yakubu also hinted that NEMA has put in place proactive measures to secure the consignment and forestall diversion.
The containers are going intact to the 6 states in the northeast that are affected by incidents. They will be opened there and offloaded. The bag is branded. It's not a common brand. The bag is not, nobody has seen it. You cannot produce it. So we have taken all the security measures in place, including tracking.
NEMA says the Chinese government will officially present the bags of rice to the federal government at one of the IDP camps before direct distribution to the victims of insurgency would commence. In Lagos, Musa Toliad, NTA News.
The need to formulate enduring and sustainable policies towards addressing infrastructural deficit and low patronage of college programs at the Administrative Staff College of Nigeria, ASCON, has been advocated. Director General ASCON, Cecilia Gaya, stated this at a 2-day retreat for top management staff of the college with the theme Re-engineering ASCON in a Period of Change. Abolade Salami has the report.
The Administrative Staff College of Nigeria for over 4 decades has been training staff in public and private sectors of the country. To engender strategic improvement in training and research, the Director General of ASCON, Cecilia Gaya, emphasized the need for the management to initiate key changes in the processes and methods of doing business so as to meet the expectations of stakeholders. The Director General also expressed ASCON's willingness to key into the federal government economic recovery and growth plan in driving the operations of the college.
On the other hand, new challenges may arise which cannot be surmounted through the application of old perspectives, ideas, methods. Thus, a shift to new ideas and perspectives is required if the organization is not to become moribund.
Some senior management of the college suggested a reduction in administrative costs to boost the development of human capacity.
And ASCON should be a world-class management development institute. And because she wants to make a difference, she will ensure that whatever we are going to come out with in this annual retreat will be fully implemented.
As for the human resource that we have in this college, I don't know any other MDI in the whole of Africa that has it, either in terms of quantity or in terms of quality. Okay? But we have problem of patronage from government.
A communique is expected at the end of the retreat. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
Internal peace and security of any country is strategic to its development. This was one of the salient points raised at the book presentation in Lagos on security and justice, the pathway for peace and reconciliation in Nigeria, written by the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris. Tunde Saiki has the details.
Challenges currently confronting Nigeria is a major concern to agencies saddled with the responsibility of protecting the country. This informed the motive behind the book written by the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, in putting some of his thoughts on the way forward in a permanent form. The 293-page book has 18 chapters. It takes a holistic view of the issue of security, justice, and reconciliation in Nigeria.
The author has gone deep into discovering what are the problems bedeviling this country for a very long time. And not only that, he has actually provided very brilliant solutions to those problems.
The author of the book, Ibrahim Idris, says, as a person saddled with the responsibility of policing the country, his experiences both within and outside the country motivated him to write the book.
It's apt at this time because we are facing some of these challenges in various parts of the country. And I think as people, we have to see how we can reconcile our differences so that we can live as one.
Some guests at the book presentation appealed to government and other well-meaning Nigerians and organizations to support the police in fighting crime in the society.
Whether tribe, Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba, whatever be a religion, we want us to reconcile, move together, so that this country can move forward.
A really good CEO reaches a place of respect when he's able to put down the thoughts that enable him to accomplish what he has accomplished and show a way forward.
The event attracted people from all walks of life. In Lagos, Tunde Saiki, NTA News.
You're still watching NTA Network News. You now take another break for some messages. The news continues shortly. Stay with us.
Get an unfair advantage that puts you in front of everyone else. Be the first to have an immersive movie experience. 1,000 Naira equals 2 gigabytes. That's 30 hours of video content. With the power to broadcast yourself, the world is your stage. 2,500 Naira equals 7.2 gigabytes that lets you upload 120 hours of dance video. Get the unfair advantage powered by Glow Data Unmatched. Also enjoy free YouTube and iFlix. Dial *777#.
The largest data network, Glow, grandmasters of data.
Helen! Your kitchen gets 10 out of 10. Thank you. This also gets a 10. Should we see the toilet now? Sure. This gets just 1. It is clean. But not perfect 10. Better than my detergent and bleach? Impossible. Challenge? Try the new Apic 10X. Compared to bleach and detergent, Apic sticker formulation removes yellow stains times better, giving you a sparkling clean toilet. Wow. Now you also take that Apic 10X challenge.
Also available in 200 ml pack. Sensitivity is a short pain which occurs when teeth are exposed to hot, cold or acidic things. Cold water from the fridge would trigger off sensitivity. A lot of people would accept anyway and just grin and bear the pain. What I would say to the patient is switch to Sensodyne, make it your daily toothpaste. Over a period of time would reduce tooth sensitivity. And a lot of them come back to thank me, to say that, wow, it's just something so simple. It adds the sparkle back into their life.
There's such a thing as irresistible taste.
And you'll discover it in every pack of Chi Exotic. When you feel the need to just relax, get lost in the taste.
The taste of celebration.
So, indulge and get lost in the taste of the Chi Exotic range of delicious fruit blends.
Oh, I love the taste.
Chi Exotic Nectar. I love the taste.
Thanks, Mom, for the Peakful cream milk. It's so tasty.
But Dad, you stopped taking milk, remember?
Yes, my darling. But then my loving wife got me the new Peakfield milk, which is low in cholesterol to help me stay healthy.
Dad, you mean my loving mom that gives me Peakful cream milk for a stronger body and sharper mind?
Here's to the best wife in the world.
Yes, to the best mom in the world.
Mom, see how my dad and brother are fighting over you.
Well, guys, now everyone has a peak. Peak Full Cream Milk and the new Peak Filled Low in Cholesterol Milk. Enjoy the creamy taste of Peak Milk, enriched with 28 vitamins and minerals.
Thanks, my dear, for always taking care of the family.
Dettol team is visiting schools to teach children how to protect themselves from diseases. Do you know how we get illnesses like diarrhea, cough, and cold? No! They are spread through germs which are everywhere. You collect germs that cause diseases. You pick up germs from any surface, like when you don't wash your hands after going to the toilet, while playing. And then you can get sick because of germs. That's why you need to fight germs to stay healthy by washing your hands and taking your bath with Dettol soap to protect from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Wash, wash, wash your hands. What you have to do is bath, bath, bath yourself. Dettol soap every day. Wash, wash, wash your hands.
We want to buy Indomie noodles. 4 packs, please.
Yo.
This is not my Indomie.
Please, sir, if it's not Indomie, don't call it Indomie. Sir, the taste is the difference. The difference is in the taste. That's why my brothers, my mommy, my daddy, and I all enjoy our delicious, so very delicious Indomie noodles. The difference is the taste.
Don't you? 3 Crowns Milk is low in cholesterol and endorsed by the Nigerian Heart Foundation.
3 Crowns Milk. Healthy moms, happy families.
Nigeria needs to re-strategize her marketing policy to make her attractive to both citizens and the world. This was the focus of presentations and discussions at this year's annual marketing conference organized by the National Institute of Marketing of Nigeria, held in Abuja with the theme Marketing Nigeria. Muplang Dakok reports.
Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Okechukwu Enelama, affirmed that government needs to go into strong partnership with the private sector to be able to sell the Nigerian brand adequately.
We also want to partner with you, the Institute of Marketing, National Institute of Marketing of Nigeria, to tell this Nigeria story, to communicate, do this marketing of Nigeria, and to make sure that this team marketing Nigeria is not just mere talk.
Other speakers said nation branding is a powerful tool which other countries have used to sell their country to the world, and Nigeria must employ all necessary vehicles to achieve this.
There are many reasons why the Nigerian brand can be and indeed must be projected. We have more than enough reasons for chest thumping. One, a huge population of 170 million people, which makes every 1 in 6 Africans a Nigerian.
The biggest economies now are moving away from the traditional profession, from medicine, law, engineering, so the irregular sectors.
The National Institute of Marketing of Nigeria, NIMN, believes a strong brand can be achieved by the promotion of sports, media, arts and entertainment, and tourism, backed by the necessary policies. In Abuja, Muplang Dakok, NTA News.
More private initiative to complement government's efforts at reducing youth unemployment through self-reliance are coming on board. The latest is the Conversation for Change, which assembled young female entrepreneurs to train them on new trends in entrepreneurship.
Have served and risen to the position of permanent secretaries in the Federal Civil Service before retiring. But they are not tired, and that is why they formed an association, Conversation for Change, to give back to the society. Tackling youth unemployment, especially among female, is their focus on this outing. Building capacity of young female entrepreneurs to complement government's self-reliance effort drives this initiative.
Empower young people with information and
share our experiences as women in the public sector, and encourage them to work hard, because we all started as young people.
To instill in them, to mentor them, that they have the innate ability and capability of doing well because we have the strength.
To become an entrepreneur means to become your own boss, to make decisions on your own.
For whatever you have to do, stay focused, think big, but you can also start small.
With more of such trainings, it is expected that the unemployment gap will be closed.
Abuje state government says it will continue empowering women and youths in the state to enable them to become self-reliant. Governor Muhammad Abdullahi stated this during the closing ceremony of a 3-day skills acquisition training organized by the office of his wife in collaboration with the State Ministry of Women Affairs. Abbas Mikano reports.
The governor says over 36 million naira was expended for the training of 1,600 beneficiaries from the 20 local government areas of the state. According to him, his administration gives special attention to issues concerning women folk with the aim of eradicating social and cultural barriers that prevent them from realizing their full potentials. The governor, who charged the beneficiaries to make good use of the training and starter pack given to them, added that his administration has also introduced many interventions that have direct bearing on the welfare of women.
These include the free child and maternal health care services, as well as government enterprise and empowerment program, GEEP, provision of ample education opportunities to women who by omission or commission could not join the formal education system.
In her remarks, wife of the governor, Hajia Hadiza Abubakar, says 10,000 naira will be given to each beneficiary as a starter pack, which amount to 16 million naira. The beneficiaries were trained in tailoring, potato chips, spaghetti, coconut oil production, and agro-allied, among others. Highlight of the occasion was presentation of certificate and starter pack to the beneficiaries. In Bauchi, Abbas Mekano, NTA News.
Sports is next on our lineup after this time out. Stay tuned.
Get an unfair advantage that puts you in front of everyone else. Be the first to have an immersive movie experience. 1,000 naira equals 2 gigabytes. That's 30 hours of video content. With the power to broadcast yourself, the world is your stage. 2,500 naira equals 7.2 gigabytes that lets you upload 120 hours of dance video. Get the unfair advantage, powered by Glow Data Unmatched.
And now sports with Tamara Abuje.
Nigeria dropped 1 place in the latest FIFA ranking released by the football governing body on Thursday. The Super Eagles, which were 51st in the last world ranking, now placed 52nd with 606 points. The country, however, remains 7th in the continent. Tunisia are the top ranked in Africa, as Senegal, DR Congo, CHAN champions Morocco and Egypt make up Africa's top 5. Nigeria's ladies golfers' dream of becoming professionals is about being actualized as the inaugural professional golf tournament tees off Thursday at the IBB International Golf and Country Club, Abuja. 10 Nigerian golfers joined 7 others from 4 African countries to take part in the championship, which was ceremonially teed off by the former governor of Enugu State, Okwesileze Nwodo, and other dignitaries.
We have now come to the end of our network news for this evening. We wish you a great evening. Thank you.